Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, the name of my YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this on BitChute, the name of my BitChute channel is Comic Freak. Today we're going to be talking about, something stupid, because apparently the media is now blaming streaming for the fact that Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, basically bombed in theaters. You know, for a bunch of rich guys who run studios, these guys ain't so smart, are they? The summer that Star Wars premiered, many saw the movie multiple times. Then again, there were only 3 major TV networks, and VHS machines were brand new, leaving little prospect of watching it outside a theater for quite a while. Flash forward 42 years and the 9th Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, is posed to cross the $1 billion box office threshold worldwide and $500 million in North America, yet those results are widely considered disappointing, which might not entirely grasp that the media landscape is rapidly changing and whether Hollywood needs to begin recalibrating expectations to fit the streaming age. Although it's pretty well understood that streaming has negatively impacted traditional TV networks, the jury remains out on whether the ubiquity of content is having an impact on box office. Most studies have suggested that heavy streamers tend to be avid moviegoers as well, so it's possible the effect is negligible. Still, studios have been flying blind as they funnel vast resources into streaming, knowing they can earn billions from monthly subscriber payments, but not entirely certain about the sacrifices to their traditional business. Yes, streamers are avid moviegoers, but you gotta understand, the reason why Star Wars Episode 9 it didn't do so well at the box office wasn't because the movie was hurting because of streaming. The reason the movie was hurting in the financial department was because Disney released a hacked-together piece of, trash. The domestic box office did decline overall last year despite standouts like Avengers Endgame, but international ticket sales offset that, hitting record levels. Meanwhile, more movies are being funneled towards streaming, even if some see Netflix's The Irishman as an example get an obligatory theatrical run before landing on TV screens. What is clear is that consumers can increasingly watch movies and TV shows whenever they want, and not insignificantly, have it your way places. Yes, they have to pay for the privilege by anteing up for subscriptions, but that still omits the cost of parking or a babysitter, much less showering and leaving home. The Rise of Skywalker arrived roughly 5 weeks after the rise of Disney+. As the studio behind the movie joined the streaming wars, that includes not only access to the earlier films, but new waves of Star Wars content beginning with The Mandalorian, arguably the best Star Wars branded live-action production since the original trilogy. Not from what I've heard. I heard as soon as it ended, most people just basically canceled their Disney Plus accounts. As I said, streaming isn't hurting movies. It's bad movies that's hurting movies. And you need better movies and not just reboots and just, sequels to movie franchises. That is what's hurting the box office, not this scapegoating of this new media platform, because that's all the studios can do is scapegoat. Why might that matter? Because most of the films are more enjoyable when watched for particular scenes as opposed to wading through every wince-inducing line of dialogue in George Lucas's prequels. Indeed, while Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back are widely held as great films, there hasn't really been one since, personally speaking, the subsequent Star Wars movies benefit from zapping through them. Eliminating Jar Jar Binks and jumping to the lightsaber battle with Darth Maul, or skipping from the clunky Anakin Padme courtship to the Yoda vs. Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones. Wherever fans fall in the Last Jedi vs. The Rise of Skywalker divide, the latest trilogy similarly contains scenes that fans will likely revisit for years to come. Not likely. The whole series is just bad. The same way they could rewatch parts of the previous films when they popped up on cable. With services like Disney Plus, though, stumbling upon content isn't an issue. Star Wars and Marvel fare will be there beckoning to fans who might want to reacquaint themselves with them or introduce the franchise to their kids. Yet, if that's a boon to consumers, there's a nagging sense that such wanton abundance and convenience will come with a trade-offs for studios. See here, blaming the convenience here that it's going to be somehow hurting the studios. No. What's hurting the studios is they're making bad content. Look at Netflix. Over the last few years, they've made tons and tons of bad shows and bad movies. They made bad content and they lost over 1 billion subscribers. That tells you what will happen. Just make better content and the studios will prosper. People will go to the theaters despite having streaming services. But no, they find it easier to just blame the streaming services for their problems. And that probably comes from the fear that they're going to be replaced by these streaming services in the future. Obviously, the theatrical experience and its communal aspects of moviegoing offer unique qualities that people continue to relish. With the bigger franchises, there will always be spoilers and fear of missing out as motivators. In the context, the Rise of Skywalker's box office returns, failing below previous installments, do appear disappointing by comparison, especially given the enormous hype despite joining the $1 billion club. There isn't a single explanation for that, and the contributing factors likely include vocal fan blowback unleashed by the last movie and the cool critical reception toward this one. The media galaxy, however, is undeniably changing, making trends as difficult to pinpoint as X-Wing fighters attempting to hit a small exhaust port on the Death Star, given that a few years and several streaming services from now, who knows? Like the summer of '77, this current disappointment could easily look like the good old days. What a complete load. There isn't a single explanation for the fact that the Rise of Skywalker's box office returns falling below previous installments. There isn't a single explanation for that. The explanation is that the Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, falling below expectations is because it was a hacked-together piece of trash. It was garbage. Otherwise, it was smelly garbage. It wasn't even hot trash. People like hot trash, and it certainly wasn't that. And you're going to blame the fact that a bad movie didn't make as much money as its previous installments that were much better? Even The Force Awakens was better, even though it was just a ripoff of the original movie, A New Hope. And this guy blames the fact that a bad movie didn't make money wasn't because it was bad. No, it was the streaming services that did it. That's the only reason why this movie didn't make money. This is unbelievable. Bad movies don't make money. Or at least bad movies that are following in the wake of the last bad movie in the franchise, like Solo. And you expect this movie to somehow have pulled out a win? I'm sorry, buddy, but that's not how the world works. You don't expect to get paid the same amount of money for the same work you do if the work you're doing is just bad. All of the Star Wars Disney trilogy movies are just bad. But what takes the cake is the fact that each installment got progressively worse. No, the writer of this article just thinks because this movie was the latest installment in a well-established franchise that it should somehow pull in the bucks like its previous installments. Like it's somehow the fact that it's a new car and you were replacing your used car. Well, get this. Movies aren't like cars. When you buy a car, you want a car to drive around. You need it for its convenience. When you go see a movie and you see its sequel, and that sequel completely destroys any love you had for this franchise and basically makes you not like it anymore, you're expected to go see the third installment. No, that's not how this works. Bad movies will usually just bomb and not make money, and that's just the way it is. If you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you're not subscribed, please subscribe to me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics They're Bad For You, then go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And if you could you also please share this video? Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, and share it on Reddit. Share it anywhere you think it'll do the most good because YouTube is not going around promoting their own YouTube creators anymore, and it would really help me if you could please share this video. Now listen closely. Keep checking back in all my future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.